All right. Um, got a little late here. Was making some tea. Waffle Iron. Welcome to the stream. I was given your game by Shika. That'll be a fun one to watch. That's probably going to be at the end of the stream, though. I had a lot of streams already on the list, a lot of games already on the list. So we will get to that. You may not be able to stick around that long. That's fine. It will be in the VOD. And I do try to save all the VODs. Sometimes I forget, though. And we got a great mix of games today. Let's see, does the game want to show up yet? Blood Bowl. There we go. But got a good amount of games today. Got a bunch of different games. We got some minors games. Got college games, spin game. We got a G-Man game. And Waffle Iron. Feel free to ask any questions, and also chat usually gives tons of good advice. Let me double check what was on the list. G-Man is just it is the main Rebel League for like European time zones. G-Man is just like the division. Okay, first we've got some Bopnot. I will move one of Bopnot games to the end of the stream. So, because Bopnot has 2 requests, so we'll do one Bopnot, then skip the next one and do the other one after at the end. But let's go to. Let's see, what teams are these? I'm a little disorganized today. I kind of forgot that like my stream time is 2 p.m. and not 3 p.m. Should be Cool Hat versus Washington Blood Bowl team. Cool Hat or Rotund Farmer versus Washington Blood Bowl team. And I know Bobnut asked something as well. Suggestions for stopping score in the second half, besides not forgetting the blitz. Okay, yeah. That'd be good. That'd be a good one. But it's always fun to look at Bobnot's games. Bobnot's pretty solid player and ask really good questions as well. But normally I'm like a couple minutes earlier and I already have a game loaded up. But today, not quite. And Blood Bowl is being slow as well. Alright. Let's see. Should be watching the chores here. I'm going to switch all the way over to added skills. Hey, Outcast, how's it going, buddy? Let's see what we got interesting. We've got fame on the Necro, a bribe on the chores. That's important to know. Let's take a quick stock of things. There is 1 bench for the Necro, 1 bench for the Chorfs. We've got really good Mummy, decent Mummy, good White, great White, and a bunch of other stuff. Hey, Bopnot. We're going to look at your game that I missed. Then we're going to put your other game at the end of the stream just to try and get to more people. But the fact that you've sent in 2 games is not a problem. I just want to, like, mix up who we're watching. So I'm mixing up the order, even though both your requests were technically at the beginning. But yeah, we've got a good amount of guard, and we're going to try and figure out how to stop the score in the second half. Won't forget that. Riot is actually really good for the Chorfs, I think. Bopnot, if you'd like, we can also just go and switch to the other game if you're wanting to see that. Like, when's your game? Are you going to be here the whole time? Or are you going to dip in and out? I can do the one more relevant to you if you need. That's a little unfortunate. But I'm fine with this setup. You've got a pretty good setup. Game is in an hour and a half. Depends how quick I am. We'll go through this one then. Let's see. You probably won't be able to see your other game then, because we've got like 5 games today. It's the first time that's happened in a while. It's gonna be fun. Fouling. I don't hate that foul. That is a 7+. Gonna have a hard time getting fouls on the other things. And you get a bribe, so that's fine. Also, I love this Hobgoblin. This fills me with joy. Russel Frenzy. It's like a surfing threat. It's a sacking threat. I love it. And this seems fine. Guard here really helps. Protects the corner piece by having the guard on both sides of it like this. Yeah, tackle next. I agree. You could also consider like Dauntless if you really wanted to, but tackle's probably just better. Or strip ball. You already have so much tackle on the team. Strip ball could be decent. Because like even if most teams have a sure hands, you force the situation so that if the ball ever ends up not on sure hands, you've got a really good hit. Because most teams only have one sure hands. And I agree with the undead here. Hitting AV7 is really good. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Bringing the ball central, that seems fine. I'll consider hitting this guard zombie, but at this point in the game, basically anything you hit's gonna be fine. That's really unfortunate. Okay, we're hitting this mummy. No, we're not. Okay. Again, doesn't really matter what you hit as long as you're hitting things. It's really unfortunate you don't actually have any Mighty Blow or Claw yet. Just kind of relying on block to be a bully and stuff like that. No problems with any of that. You've still got plenty of time. Don't have to hurry down the pitch. I don't see... Yeah, a little bit more firepower would be nice. But other than that, you're just doing the chore thing of... you get into contact and try to force some hits. I think going offense without kill power first is actually pretty difficult. If you won this coin toss, I think I would have gone on defense first. But that's like a personal preference. That's not like there's a right or wrong there. And if you can get down a positional and foul it with your dirty player, that'd be fantastic. And against undead here, just pausing for a second, I would consider like vital positionals to foul would be anything with skills. Like even these guard zombies are great foul targets as well. The mummies, if you can ever knock them down. But I wouldn't want to commit to knocking a zombie down unless I got like an amazing foul on it. Otherwise, just kind of like hold off. Look for something a little more opportune. Hitting the Mighty Blow is good. But your hits have not been exceptionally good right now. They've been a little lackluster. Break, tackle, dodge. Dodge is a good skill on Bull Centaur. Your bulls are so beautiful. Okay, bringing the ball up here. We've got decent defense. We got a good screen. Waffle Iron. Do be aware that I am going a little more... like, I'm not covering many fundamentals on games for other people, but I will definitely cover a lot of fundamentals for your game. So don't worry if you're not understanding everything I'm going over. Because I do try to become more fine-tuned for people that need it. But especially like when people are doing things good, I like to point it out though. So like here, we got a solid screen. It's hard to blitz through here. yeah. So I just wanted to make sure you're aware. Like don't worry if you're feeling overwhelmed. And if you're not understanding something that I'm saying, even if it's not your game, you can ask me to slow down and explain it. That's not an issue. Hey, Yeti, how's it going, my friend? Getting into base contact against the Chorse is a little dangerous. There's still 4 turns left. Can actually do some damage still. Ooh, yeah? How'd those go? Hitting the dirty player while you still have the bribe is actually really nice for the undead. Because if they remove your dirty player, most of the advantage of having that bribe is gone. Like, the Chor's still foul, but it's not nearly as scary. I like that. Dirty player's a kill skill. You want to get that off the field. Anything with skills that you can hit is good. But it's just not landing. It's really hard to get into bash combat with regen teams. And it's also just really hard to deal with AV8, AV9 without any Mighty Blow. And honestly, Coke Guy's doing a great job at covering the fouling of positionals. Good job of tying up the left 2 Chorfs. Yeah, that's fair. Happens. Ha! There you go. Getting concede wins can feel really good. It's like, oh yeah, I am so good at this game, I am very frustrating and aggravating. Now here's where it starts getting dicey. I think as Chorfs, you're almost forced to score here, right? You're getting close to being forced to score. If I got into too much pressure, I would be looking at blitzing this down. If it breaks, come and cage up here. If it doesn't break, maybe just go for the 2 GFI score, or consider it, get set up, move players into position, see where I'm at. There's a lot of dice to happen still. But especially with 1 reroll versus 3, I'm actually pretty concerned about, am I going to be able to get the score? And I would rather be 1-0, give up several turns for the opponent to score, than to potentially give up a 0-1. Trying to like stall till turn 8. I've actually, the more I play Blood Bowl, the more you get forced to score where you don't want to, but you still want to score. That's a very opportune double skull. You know what? You could have made this a surf. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Actual decent way to secure the ball and be ready for a touchdown. And like defend the ball and stuff, right? Let's go back for a second. Let's look at some chain pushes. I'm so excited. I love chain pushes. So okay, that won't go off the screen. Okay. So that's gonna fail, we know that. So this situation's basically set, right? We want to shore up all of this up here. We want to defend the ball. We want to stall until turn 8 if we can. Right now, what I'm seeing is blitz with this dude right here. Boom, boom, boom. Take your hit. And then go... No, wait. Frenzy, it would have to be here. It would have to be up here for the surf. Never mind, that's silly. I'm silly. But I still like this as, like, in theory. You take this blitz and use the Bull Centaur for screening. And then, like, come up here. Bring up this guy. Let me just get rid of the lines. So you go up here. You go up here. Ball can come be an assist, but that's kind of risky. Don't really want to do that. This bull can come up. Chorf blitz into behind the hobbo. Confronts up, pushes the right. Yeah, you can do that. We could surf it a different way. The main thing is we don't want the frenzy to end up on the sideline for a counter surf, because then we're in a similar situation of ickiness. But I'm seeing a lot of ways to shore this ball up here. And I want to see what Bopnot did, but I'm going to give my best impression of what I would do. So the ball comes up here. No GFIs. This either takes a hit or doesn't break tackles, blitzes, something. Probably break tackles later, actually. Then this Chorf, like, we want to deal with this. This Chorf can come and blitz this if we would like. I actually more like this Chorf comes up here in defense. And then you can take this hit. And now this is free. Right? So this is now freed up. So we'd be able to come up here. And then we still have our blitz. So then, all that being said, this last dude comes and hits this way. And acts as a defender. And we get a surf. So that would be like, ball comes up here. This is good, this is good. And then this dude ends up like right here, and we've got a screen. So if you look, we would have a screen like this, and this would buy us another turn at least. So you're just like looking for where the ball is going to end up, that sort of thing. But that's actually a pretty complex turn. But it's a pretty doable turn. So let's see what Bopnot did. Let's see what Bopnot did. Because there's also more than just that way to play that turn. Especially depending on where you like to put your risk. Like, what dice are you throwing? Are you willing to throw a 1 and 9 to get a better position? It's good to think of failure states. Failure states are an important part of the game. But it's also really good to think of success states. If I succeed on my difficult dice in this turn, am I in a better position than if I went with the safe move? Lots of things to consider. And also, the ball doesn't have to go up here. The ball is probably fine to be stood right here as well, depending on how we do it. So that break tackle is pretty good. Ball's up here. Now, I don't think this ball is the safest it could be, but this ball's in a pretty decent spot. I don't think this is bad at all. Push you onto the sideline, good. Who needs break tackle? Break tackle's for losers. Now, there is, like, a way... Honestly, as the undead, I'm probably not even focused on stopping the score on the next turn. I'm just looking like, hey, I can get a surf. This is a one-bench game for both of us. I have regen. Let's get attrition. Let's surf a player. Like, there's probably a surf here. Probably. I'm not saying there is guaranteed. Actually, no, that's really hard to get us that surf without frenzy. And that's unfortunate, but you do take that dice roll. And, like, also, that rolling a skull didn't actually penalize you too much. Get everything brought in. Pressure, pressure, pressure here at the end of the drive. For new players, you'll notice that in a lot of the games played by the more experienced members of the Discord, a lot of the times the hardest defense to break are just the ones where you're not even based. Oh, yeah. I saw. Like, the frenzy, it's like, I wanted to do the surf too, but then I thought a moment, and it's like, it put you in a really bad position to take that surf. It would have been style points supreme, but it was really hard to get that surf without risking a lot of stuff. Oh, actually, Frenzy is goated. Like, are you scoring here? I would probably score here. Ooh, it's a question of, do you move the ball first? No. But score here. Score here, delay here, both are probably fine. You know, this is actually pretty safe, looking at it again. Because all of these are slow as hell. Like, undead's slow. Like, worst case scenario, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, this can't even hit you. Oh, yeah. That would have been good. I think that anytime you can surf when you don't have Mighty Blow or kill skills, surfing is so powerful. Because surfing at the absolute worst is a KO that comes back. Like, you know, it's like you got a KO and then they come back on the next drive. At best, it's just like a straight cast. Like, straight injury rolls are so good. Also, you know what? I've just realized that this is my show. I'm not dictated by anyone's schedule. Waffle Iron, if you're still in the chat after this game, we'll just go to your game. Like, I should prioritize people in chat. That's just reasonable and makes sense. How does Surf and Defender Down interact? Okay. Whenever you get a Surf, the result of the hit is just treated as a push. So it doesn't matter if you knock them down and got the Surf. It only does one injury roll. It doesn't roll armor, it just goes straight to injury. But it doesn't get any benefits from Mighty Blow, it doesn't get any benefits from piling on, it doesn't get any benefits from anything. It's just an injury roll. But that just an injury is usually much higher chances of casualty or KO than if you had to break through armor. Yeah. And those are the type of questions that are really good. There's a lot of minutia in the game, and a lot of it's unintuitive. Yeah. No armor roll on a Surf, just straight injury. So it's really good. Like, surfing AV9 pieces is amazing. And surfing anything niggled is also amazing because you're going straight to the injury roll, and niggle does work on surfs. Yeah, it does Denny you SPP, but that's only if you're looking at that hit, right? So, gonna pause here a moment while I talk. Oh, this is funny. I've never seen this. This is amazing. This ball is spinning. But I like to think of it more holistically. If your opponent is down a player because you surf them, you have more opportunities to bully your opponent. You get the touchdown easier. You can pass easier. You can get more hits easier. And those give you more SPP overall rather than just fishing for a Kaz on one hit. Yes, exactly. Making the board state more beneficial gives you more opportunities for SPP. Just some standard line of scrimmage hits. Pile that on, yep. I'm not sure how I feel about putting Hobbs on the line. Well, actually, you still had a full bench, so it's actually not too bad. You're trying to protect against fouls. Like, this protects against fouls, but I still think that I would have... put Chorus on the line. It's hard to say. Like, there are benefits to what you did. Yours makes it harder to foul the Chorf. It's still getting fouled, though. But it's not a very good foul, so that's actually not bad. It's not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they were serious about this foul, I would have brought in the goal. Made it a 6+. Generally on fouls, 7+ is your turning point to where it's more beneficial for you to foul than not. You're more likely to remove the person you're fouling. With dirty player, 7+ is like the minimum I would go for. Without dirty player, 7+ is like almost mandatory in order to just have even odds of removal. My preferred target is 6+ with dirty player is like I think that's like an 83% to break armor. It's a 1 in 6 to fail it. A 5+ is 92% to break armor with a question mark in my brain. And then after that, it's like 95%. I wouldn't really go more than 5+. 5+ is like the massive greed foul for me. 6+ is my absolutely ideal. And 7+ is like, I'll accept this if it's a good piece to foul. Like, if it has a niggle, if it's a important piece that's got stunty, if it's a ward answer, if it's a lineman on Tuesdays, that sort of thing. Why Tuesday, you may ask? I don't like Tuesday. Not for any reason. But Tuesday, not a good day. Does anybody do anything on Tuesdays? Like, I'm sure that, like, if I had, like, plans that I made pizza on Tuesday, I'd like Tuesdays. Or hoagies. I like hoagies. I like the perfect defense. Dirty player? Dirty player is +1 to fouls. It's basically Mighty Blow on fouls. So it's +1 to either armor or injury, but only on fouls. It's the Mighty Blow of fouls. And it's actually, it's only one or the other. It's whichever one failed. So if the armor roll fails, it will apply +1 and see if it succeeds. If you break armor with dirty player, it does not apply to injury. If you break armor without dirty player, it applies to the injury. So it's only one or the other. But you never had to make a choice with that. It's just like the game does it for you. The only way that's important is like maths and like tabletop. But it's good to know how it works. I like this. I like this. This breaks the cage open. Are you basing here? You didn't break, I wouldn't base, and you don't. Okay. You really could use a removal. Okay, if you're gonna do that, I would have probably based. Okay. Yeah, that's what I would do. And we're trying to overwhelm the defense. Or we're trying to overwhelm the cage. So, probably won't get into it in this game. But we'll probably see another moment in another game to talk about how to overwhelm cages. But it's hard to actually overwhelm a cage if your opponent's not down players. Or if you don't have a strength advantage. Which neither of those are true here, so I don't think this is a good example of it. Like this, you just overwhelm the pillars that are slow moving. You get them marked up, you get them knocked down. If you knock down a mummy, it literally cannot move without GFIs. It's fantastic. Nice 3-die with the Palmer. Breaks armor without Mighty Blow. You pile that on. Fixed Skull is a good skill. Okay. Now, goal for this drive is we either want to stop the score, turn them over, and get the ball. So, or let them quick score. Not let them quick score. Make them quick score. So, removal. So, Chorfs are now down. This is still caged up. Is there a way to chain push the ball? I think there technically is. I'm not sure it's good, though. It doesn't open it up to a hit, so I don't think we're going to look at that. It's like hard to do, and it doesn't actually accomplish much. That being said, we can set up a really good foul here. So we bring in these guards. Let's try to get a foul on this mummy. Because if we can remove this mummy with our bribe, that is very good for the rest of the drive. So we get these 2 assists. Boom, boom. Get it knocked here. Use our blitz to like free something else up. But even just this, we can get a 3-assist foul probably. Maybe more with the blitz as well. And just try to commit yourself to removing something that's annoying. So that's good. Push that there. Push this here. Yep. Good. And then hitting here. Okay. That gives 1, 2, 3, 4 assist foul. Definitely take this foul before moving this player. Yes, I love this. Very good. Very good. 6+ foul with dirty player. This is what we like to see. Even that armor break is great. That armor break, fantastic. And the dirty player's safe. Nothing's based up. Very good. Very good. Definitely, if you're not fouling in your games, look for more opportunities to. Fouling is very strong. It's part of the game. It's not just a douchey maneuver. It's a poorly named game mechanic. Now, that being said, if you're fouling on turn 16, that does invite the controversy of turn 16 fouling and the ethics and yada yada yada. But let me summarize the conflict. End of the story. It's allowed in the game, but people will think it's a little shitty. But depending on the context of why you're doing it, it actually makes sense. It's beneficial. Other times you're fouling the 14th player in the division and you're just being a jerk. But it is like a valid thing to do in the game. I think that hits all the highs and lows on that, right? Absolutely. That's the thing. If you're ever going to play a team again, it's actually very beneficial to foul. Or if you're against somebody and you need them to lose future games. I think the thing that gets people upset is when there's just obviously like very little benefit to doing it. Or like, my thing is, I don't want to turn 16 foul somebody that's playing a less meta team, because that promotes them going into a claw palm team. So if somebody's playing like vampires, and it's turn 16, I'm not going to foul their vampire. I will foul a thrall because crunchy makes brain happy, but I would not foul a vampire because I think that there should be more vampires, Amazons, Bretonians. Like, I don't want to just remove their positionals without some primary motivator. And that's just like my view on turn 16 fouling. Nobody has to subscribe to that. Nobody has to agree with me. I know Sinewave's not here right now, but Sinewave's view on it is crunchy makes brain happy and lol lamau, which that's a very valid point. I have no way to argue against that counter argument. Okay, and so here we've got, looks like we're getting a based cage. This could be really bad. For those that are unaware, basing cages opens up hits on the ball. Oh? There is literally a 1-die right here. It's no longer a 1-die, but there was, in fact, just a straight 1-die on the ball. We can actually get a 1-die with the Bull Centaur. So, let's just take a peek at this here. Like, legitimately, just move this player, and then we've got boom bang. So that's a 1-die on the ball. with block, and with a reroll, that's actually pretty good odds because you have 3 successes. That's a 75% knockdown right here. And even without that, we can maybe get something better, right? Like, I think we can probably set up better because we can go for this dice right here to get this pushed and go for a 2-die. But just looking at this right now, I think keep it simple. Go for a 1-die on ball. Yeah, 1-die on ball. Yep, 1-die on ball. And that's very good. And following that up, I like following that up. It does give you a hit on the centaur, but it gets everything. Here's the thing. Basing is good when you have a goal in mind, right? The goal right here is I'm going to slow down the undead so that it's hard for them to score. They're forced to potato, and it gives me an opportunity to slow them down again. So this was a very good follow. And I like knocking this stuff down. This is good. Yeah, get these whites stuck in here. Yeah, this is great. This was a great turn. I think the undead made a slight mistake. I think they were forced into it a little bit, but they may have also just like misplaced something. It's hard to say. It's very easy to analyze a simple mistake while you're looking at a replay, but it's also, you got to remember that, especially towards the end of games, there's a lot, you can feel pressured, you can feel just exhausted by a long game, you could have overthought things. I know just the other day we were watching a vampire coach who made some really silly mistakes, and like it's a mystery how they won their game, because they made a lot of simple mistakes that were really easy to fix in retrospect, but it's just like they weren't thinking hard enough in the moment. Yeah, the removals against the Torch are also massive. For those not in on the joke, that was me. I was playing that game. I am that vampire coach. I like this foul. Now, we're down 4. Undead are down 1. No, we're actually down 3 on pitch. Undead are down 1. Okay. Keep that marked up with 1. I like this. I like this a lot. Hitting this and going to mark the ball. You cannot stop me from directing anything to you. Okay, and this is really solid play from Bob now. Like, doing what you gotta do. I think that you really do need one player with Mighty Blow, though. Just give one short, bite the bullet. I know that, like, guard spam's great, and, yeah, you know, I actually have no argument. Like, guard spam is great. It's just rough not having one Mighty Blow. But you do have Dirty Player, so who am I to say? Dirty Player's great. Stop getting MVPs on Hobgoblins. That's what you really need to do. I know what it was. You were holding out for a double on a Chorf to make them a killer. Ugh. Like, is that kind of what it is? You're like hoping for Claw to guide you? Because that's really valid. Your team is really great. It's just like your SPP is landing on everyone but the Chorfs, which is kind of like the nature of Chorfs. Next one is getting Mind Blow unless it rolls Claw. That's very fair. Ooh, wait, what was that for? Or were you trying to dodge here to go for the hit there? Wait a minute. Let me understand this, right? Okay. 1 in 9 to get into a better position. Oh yeah, because that dodge worked without break tackle. That one didn't work. Okay, never mind. I misunderstood it. I thought the break tackle was already used. That was actually fine. I think that was actually a really good idea. It just 1 in 9. I take back my surprise. I just didn't understand the dice rolls that happened. And honestly, I'm surprised that they still managed to score from here. Because this is actually a pretty decent position. How do they defend the ball? Do they bring it over here? I'm assuming they bring it over here. And they have 2 whites to also be in scoring position. And you just kind of don't have enough to stop them, do you? Because you're down 4 players on the pitch. This is actually just a rough spot. You mess up the blitz activation this turn. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think that there was too much different that I would have done to stop the score. You based them up really well. You got the ball down. You slowed them down. I think it's more just, I think the difference I would have had done is I would have started on defense if I got the choice and fouled a little more aggressively in the first drive. And especially with the bribe, like, I think I'd take more 8+ fouls than normal because I'm a little more keen on that sort of thing. And then from here, I don't think there's much you can do. Yeah, especially when you have a bribe, I think you need to be taking more fouls. Just like, you need to not foul like naked linemen, but like especially pieces with guard. If they have guard, that should make you angry. Like this zombie with guard and no defensive skills, I'm gonna knock him down and kick him. That's how you need to be with the bribe a little bit more. Because their guard counters your guard pretty effectively when they have more dangerous, like they have more Mighty Blow, they have Strength 5 pieces. Get rid of the guard and watch the Strength 5 struggle a little bit more against your own. But that wasn't a bad game. That was just a little unfortunate. You used a lot of rerolls on just like dub skulls and things like that. Which happens. I believe we will be going into Waffle's game. I believe it's this one. So we're going to be watching Orcs versus Khemri. Yeah, the undead managed to equalize. And Waffle, whenever you have questions, feel free to have me stop, slow down. I will try to focus more on fundamentals. I'll give a little bit of matchup specific thoughts. I can give some orc thought lines. But I'll really try to give you general advice that's good on most teams. Would it be helpful for all skills, or is added skills fine? You know what? I'm making the executive decision. We'll go to all skills, even though they're clever. Yep, fundamentals are great. Okay, so let's take stock of what we got. We've got a pretty standard Khemri team. Couple Mighty Blow levels, a tackle piece. Nothing crazy. Only 1 throw row. 1 throw row. Hey, Mighty Crab. Your game's on the list. Do not worry. 2 tackle pieces. Am I missing one? Oh, yeah. It's on the line. Okay. And no bench for the orcs. Also have a Mighty Blow here. Mighty Blow with the troll. Agi. Yeah, this is decent. So, in general, I prefer defense first unless there's a abundance of kill skills on one of the teams. Ooh, what you cooking? And, okay. So, and especially in this matchup, you want to be hitting the AV7. It's much easier to remove low armor pieces, and you definitely want to be getting your Mighty Blow in there. And you want to be using your troll towards the end of turns, because you don't want to miss out on the rest of your turn because your troll really stupid. That's fair. That's a little rough. Also, I see here you're not actually set up your line of scrimmage to take advantage of the line of scrimmage. Meatballs, love it. But usually on the line of scrimmage, so let's say this is your opponent's. Instead of setting up just 3 blockers like this, because I assume what's going to happen is this. You're going to take your blocks dead across, push them away. Instead of that, what you can do is get you 2 more hitters here and hit diagonally. So one of these you might have to hit forwards, and let's imagine this isn't a troll but a black orc, just for demonstration purposes. So you hit diagonally, boom, and you get another hit, boom, and you get another hit. And then, same on this side, you can take this hit, boom, if something gets knocked down, and then this last one you can just kind of hit up. And that gives you a bunch of opportunities to get more hits. Getting more hits gets you more breaks. Getting more breaks gets you more removals. So, try to set up to take advantage of your free hits on the line of scrimmage. Also, another thing, I would try to refrain from taking your block hits first, or your non-block hits first. So, on top of this, unless you're really trying to level the black orcs, I would be putting your block players on the line of scrimmage. So your blitzers are really good for taking the line of scrimmage hits. And then you definitely want to be taking your Mighty Blow hit with your troll. Mighty Blow is really good. If you refuse to reroll, then it's just really good. You didn't know what exactly? The diagonal or the block? Blockers and LOS, yes. Because block is really good, especially when you're going against no block. And also, if you're getting those extra punchers in anyways, you get diagonal hits, and it's just much more likely to break something, get it knocked down. One die is okay, but you really want to be using your Mighty Blow piece. Like this guy, his job is not to pick up the ball. His job is to deal with, get the hits. You really want to focus on making sure you get your Mighty Blow hits. Because that +1 is not like a small benefit, it's like a 10 to 15% actual chance of removing. Yeah, and you could still like go for the blitz on somebody, but this blitzer should have been the one that dropped back. But also, next turn, the ball's going to be fine. You've got plenty of players to stand up. And you've got plenty of time. Plenty of time. That being said, Mighty Blow is a great killer. What do you do when the enemy exposes their Mighty Blow? You hit them with your own. Okay. And the ball's still really safe here. We just knocked down this blitz and we're fine. That's a fine push direction. This is A-okay. And this is still fine. You can pick up with this blitzer, but you definitely want to hand off and start using them for blitzing. And also, another thing, you don't want to go for this pickup yet. You still got actions to take. In general, you want to try and unbase your pieces as much as possible. Basing is, when you have a standing player marking another standing player. Turn ordering is sport, that's fine. That's fine. Turn ordering is the thing that most people get wrong, even more experienced players. But definitely, you want to unmark your pieces, whether it's through hits, blitzes, dodges, and definitely minimize the amount of players you have based. Sometimes it's unavoidable, sometimes there's a good reason to base, but unrequired basing should be avoided. And that's easier said than done against Cameron. Let's be very clear and fair. Camry are very good at basing you with Strength 5 and making you sad. Like, just against most people. And actually, I feel like I would have followed these hits. Probably wouldn't follow that one. Also, another thing. Do you know how 3 dice work? How to get 3 dice with your troll? Because that's very good as well. Because a 2 dice with outblock is a 1 in 9 to fail. 3 dice with outblock is a 1 in 27. That's almost as good as block. Not quite, but almost. Double plus 1. Exactly. 2 assists versus strength 3, yes. With strength 5. And it's important to note that if your opponent has something like guard, it is not a you have to get 1 more because of it. It changes your opponent's strength. So if they have an assist, it's not 7 strength to get 3 dice, it's 9. Because it doesn't, like, assists are, like, it's easier to conceptualize them as, oh, +1, -1, +1, -1. But it actually just changes the strength value entirely. But that's like a minutia that doesn't usually matter. It mainly comes into effect with like guard pieces and trying to get 3 dice. Okay, and here's a great thing to point out as well. So right here you're caging, right? You're caging really far back. This ball is safe, right? Nobody can hit this. But if you move this piece up here, the ball is still safe. Nobody can hit it. You don't need this piece behind. There's no one that can reach you. Likewise, if you move this here and this here, the ball is still safe. So you want to put as few defenders on the ball as you're allowed to get away with, in my opinion. So back here, if we've, like, let's say the rest of the board state is the same, right? If I cage up all the way back here, nobody can touch this ball, but also nobody could touch it even if I remove the defenders, right? So this ball is just as safe as with 4 defenders, but I give up a benefit of having people able to fight. So back here, I want to leave some of these up here to fight, because otherwise you're giving up a lot of space. Your opponent can just come in and slow you down. And I'm sure we'll see it, so I'm just going to press play and we'll look at this. There's an X on my screen. That dodge is fine. Ah, good. I think like a little quick snappy thing that I usually say is screen where you can, cage when you must. And with that in mind, when you can force your opponent to cage, it's great. Actually, that's the thing. You don't actually, you shouldn't have to judge the distance. It's not a guess. You click on your enemy piece and see their movement range and go from there. And like you count the different paths, and that can tell you pretty well if you're safe. And the super bare bones, you don't have to find every path. Click them, say, oh, this Blitra is movement 6. And literally just count the amount of squares, like, vertically. You don't have to count any paths, just say, okay, this is movement 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This can get here with a GFI if it literally took a straight path. But it can't really get behind you, so I can just, for sure, move this throw route. And you do that for the problem pieces, whatever they are. So in this situation, count diagonally from this. Can he reach me? Maybe. But like the more movement, the more you should be worried about pieces being able to get behind you and that sort of thing. Yeah, and you kind of get beat up a little bit just because that's the way Khemri are. And, like, it's hard to unbase. This is a little more unfortunate than anything, because these are getting removed without kill skills. I will say, if you've gotten, like, you've missed out on several Mighty Blow hits, you could have really turned this luck around. If you get Mighty Blow on AV7, I think it's like a 60% chance to break armor, and then it's like a 20% chance for, or like a 40% chance for removal after that? Something like that? I don't know. I don't know the numbers. It's just good. Yes, yes it was. I think that was the main mistake you'll see here. And then, now that you're down 2 players, and you've got some other things based, it's going to be really hard to make progress down the pitch against Khemri. And also, right here, this player's not actually providing much defense right here. If you want to do something more effective with this player, bring them up here, make this too wide gap, and you have zoned off more of the pitch. Like, this blocks off this section of the pitch from this clump of enemies. Whereas without that, with the current situation, they can knock this troll down and then just kind of like walk in on you and then walk in front of you. And this kind of like, this keeps you stuck here. You're stuck here with how you're set up. Whereas if you bring this up, they may blitz this and still do the same thing, but it's just, you need to try and control space. It's like a little more abstract, but the best way I found to describe it to newer players is you want to control space. You control space not by basing, but by screening. So if you notice the Khemri, they're controlling so much space, and it's usually hard to learn it until you've had it pointed out. Think that happens more or less? Oh yeah, I know that's what happens. I'm seeing it in action right here. This troll is so isolated. That's amazing. It keeps getting pushed. I love it. Yep, closing this off. And actually, let's look at what the Khemri are doing. When you get someone confined in a space like this, the way that they fix it is by going down the middle. If you feel the space, honestly, the best way to do it is just to, like, I like to look at my players and be like, this is a block around my players. This is the space I control. My opponent can walk down this way, walk down this way. And then every time you have a screen, so you've got a player, a gap, a screen, this controls, like, all the space behind them. Or if it's a vertical screen, so let's say we've got up here, so that's screened off, it controls over here. And just like, these 3 players are controlling more space than these 7. If we had 3 players over here like this. And what controlling space means to me is, if I put the ball back here, it's a little hard to see. Ah, shit. It's fine. If I put the ball back here, right? So I had the ball. My opponent cannot blitz the ball. They can mark the ball. They can blitz through my screen and get, like, in contact with me. So they blitz through and knock down this player. They can still come and mark me, but they are not able to blitz my ball if I, quote-unquote, control the space. Now, if in this situation, my opponent had someone right here, I do not control this space. So I'd have to do something like bring this defender up here, move them to down here, and now I control that space. Yeah. And that might be it. The main focus is not prevent them from marking. The main focus is prevent them from blitzing. If you can prevent them from marking while doing it, great. But if preventing them from marking gives up too much, that's a problem as well. Because let's say that we have a ball carrier, and they put someone on it. What do? Well, we just bring someone else, hit this dude, and then move the ball. Boom, 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 ball goes up here. Or, let's say that they bring in, let's say that we have a ball carrier, and they mark it with 2 people. Oh no, what do? Well, we can bring in 2 players of our own to fix this problem. Let's put someone here, and now we've made a nice little box. And that means we have a chain push. So then we bring somebody else. Boom, 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 boom. We've freed up our player. And they can go off and do their own thing. And if they bring in 3 players, they've given you a chain push. If you don't know about chain pushes, let me know. I'll quickly summarize it. I'll do that anyways. Never mind. Say no more. Say no more. Chain pushes. There's only 2 types of chain pushes. There's diagonal chains, which are boxes. So you come, you hit a player that's in a box diagonally, and boom, boom, boom. All the push directions are covered. You get to choose where they go. So this is a box. And then you have the other type of chain push. Boom. We're going to go from the side, or orthogonally instead of diagonally. So we see this shape, and then we bring in our attacker. This is our T shape. Boom, boom, boom. All 3 push directions are covered. We get to choose where they go. And what this means is, in order to create a double chain, we're just linking together these shapes. We're making multiple boxes and multiple T's with the pushes. And once you start looking for boxes and T's, it gets much easier to see them. Does that make sense? Does that help? I hope. It may take a little bit to click, but definitely, like, in your games, start looking for those boxes. Start looking for those T-shapes. And start seeing where, oh, I have 2 people next to each other. Can I make this into a box? Yeah. Because if you don't see those shapes, you can make them. Because it's 3 players to make a chain push. And so if you have 2 players next to each other, you just need a little bit more to get there. Throat's getting all froggy. I might need a minute after this game to go get a hot drink started. But yep, and here we see the Camry. They're boxing you in. I want to see a little stronger hold on the center, because the way you fix being boxed in is you break through the center. So if the Camry hold on to the center, yeah, they're reinforcing it. It's going to be really hard for you to do here. Oh yeah, and that's completely understandable. There's not much you can do about that except get some more experience, so a lot of things become more automatic. So, like, missing turns because of turn timer, that's a-okay. There's no shame in it. You try to avoid it where you can, but not anything to be embarrassed about. Because a lot of things can take a lot of time to figure out. When I first started playing, I missed several turns, like, a lot. But now, I think my average turn time is minute 30 on easy teams. Vampires, I still sometimes almost time out, just because vampires are a lot of thinky. And honestly, this was not a bad idea. Because what you tried to do was free up this running path and get over here. And it did require, like, a dodge, but you almost secured a safe spot for the ball. Like, this actually was not bad. It was probably not going to work, but it was one of your best options. I disagree. I think that 2-minute turns Just teaches you to be stressed. I do not like 2-minute turns. I like 3-minute turns. I like 4-minute turns against people that are more experienced is fine, because it allows some of the really hard turns to be longer. But I'd rather play 3-minute turns if every turn's gonna go to the clock. 2-minute turns, I think, is just really hard to process. And the way most people learn to play 2-minute turns, I feel, is to take every 15 seconds on their blocks and stuff for push direction. So it's like they're just making an artificial 3-minute or 4-minute turn anyways. In my opinion. And then there's not really much you can do here. This is kind of like the fruit of your labor. It does a little bit, but I don't think that it does for new players. I think new players, they just get timed out and frustrated. I think 2-minute turns can help for like intermediate or more experienced players to learn better pattern recognition and being faster. But I don't think that it's good for new players. Yeah, okay. We're on the same page, though. Is this Miners? I believe this is a spin game. And Waffle Iron is pretty new. Yep, and okay. So I think that pretty much sums up what can be done here. I don't think there's anything you can really do. Let's skip to the next setup. So this will be second half. And we're down a lot of players. Down 3 players against Camry is pretty hard. Yep, now standing up is great. Very much recommend not standing up. Save yourself on removals. And in this situation, I probably would have put Thrower on the line. Your other line, your Black Orc is out. Blitzer's out. Troll is out. Troll would always go on the line here as well. Troll's job is to get punched. He's not here to get punched. Standing back is okay. I don't think standing forward is going to change too much here. Yeah, this is probably just an untenable position. There's probably not too much you can do here, save for hoping that the kickoff event gave you something good. But it is just 8 versus 11 with 2 positionals out against Kemri, and Kemri have already scored on your drive. So this is a really hard spot to be in. The way you accomplish a draw and in a long shot a win here is you need to be very aggressive. You need to take some risk. What form that risk is kind of depends on the game. In this one, I'm probably looking at hit AV7 with your Mighty Blow. That's the main thing. Maybe throw a foul on a Tomb Guardian. Yeah, this is, you see, you've used 4 player activations to hit this mummy. So this is something to look out for. Glava actually has a really good, article on, it's his, abstract concepts. There's some in, the weekly recap sort of channel in, the Rookie League. He's got one about action economy, or it's called something like that. And right here, you just use 4 activations to deal with 1 player. what you could have done instead is use 2 players to deal with, like, getting a Mighty Blow hit on, like, this Blitz Draw, and then use other players to screen off. Because right here, you really just need to screen off. You need to try and slow them down while you figure out what you're doing. So, you want to get your players in these, like, screens, and then maybe have players behind them ready to go. Oh, yeah, and that's understandable. Because it's also a really hard position to be in. Like, you're down multiple players against a team that already outstrengthed you, and your agi play as orcs is not very good. You could have made a little difference. The real killer, though, is that you got scored on your drive, and you have a hard time turning Khemri over. Like, quickly. Like, you can turn Khemri over, but it's going to take you time. It's going to take you multiple turns of setup. So, what you want to do when you need to turn somebody over, you just need to slow them down. You need to slow them down while you try to crack their cage, fish for removals. So here, instead of going for this guy, I would have been trying to take control of the center. Maybe not marking players, but just kind of like, you know, get players spread out. Force them to pick a side, and then try to consolidate them. Take your blitz every turn. Take a foul on an important player, because 8 versus 11 is not impossible. Like, you can still get a draw this game. You just need to start getting you need to get removals. Use your Mighty Blow on AV7, and you can equalize those numbers pretty quickly. Because if you notice, like, these Kaz came in on turn, like, 2 or 3. They haven't gotten anything. If you'd been taking hits on skeletons instead of mummies, you probably would have removed more players, equalized the numbers, and then when Khemri are equal numbers with you, they have a hard time bullying you as much. So, like, in general, it's better to take the higher odds of removal rather than take a hit on the mummy. Like, I would prefer hitting AV7 over AV9 unless you have a way of dealing with the AV9 on the ground. Like, if you have dirty players and people in position to foul, that's really good. So if you're planning on fouling, hit the AV9. If you're not planning on fouling, hit Mighty Blow on AV7. Yeah, there you go. Planning ahead to reduce numbers. Yes. Also, chain pushes. When you get better at chain pushes, you can make more follow-up hits by creating those chain pushes. With chain pushes, you can get players in a better position to be fouled. So many good things happen with chain pushes. You can get serfs easier with chain pushes. But this is also just this is a hard matchup in general, and not knowing all the fundamental shit makes it much harder. Because Khemri is a slow, grindy team, which is kind of what orcs want to do, but they're not able to do it very well against Khemri. Oh yeah, like this is much better, and like you're cleaning it up in the second half. It's just that against Khemri have an 16-turn game plan, so if you're making mistakes on turn 1 through 4, it's gonna be rough. Wait, what's your favorite Russel game? Is this a surf? Oh, yeah, when I just pause whatever we're looking at to determine if some obscure thing is a surf? Yeah, I love doing that. I actually have, like, a little chain push puzzle set. Waffle Iron, if you're interested, I can send that to you. I made, like, little, solve the surf sort of things, or solve the chain push. Yeah, I'll find that after the stream. I'll DM it to you. Yeah, I saw you on the Discord. From here, the main thing you're looking at is you want to slow down the Camry. And I probably would have done that with a chain push. But I don't think it would have bought you too much. It would have gotten a little bit of time, but not much. But here, you've got a player marking the ball. It's literally unwinnable. The Camry have to give up. No. They just punch it. Oh wait, Mighty Crab, do you want it too? I can send it to you as well. And this is just cleaning up the hits by the Camry. Nothing crazy here. And Mighty Crab will look at your game next. I feel like there's not going to be much more to say on this game. So Waffle Iron, I'm going to skim through a little bit, see if there's anything in the next couple turns that looks pretty impactful. But I think this game is pretty hard from this point. I'm going to move forward a little bit, save a little bit of time. Next drive has a few things. Okay. Let's see. This looks fine. This is just a simple clearing off, take the hits. That was a box, though. That was a chain push possibility. This is a box. We can chain push here. And then should deal with this. This needs to be dealt with. Okay, that's a way to deal with it. Another thing that could have been done is if a player is here, this could have been pushed that way. This is an annoying piece for the Camry right now. You could go for a dodge red dice, and you have a 3+ to not be sad. Oh yeah, that's fair. I know when I'm tilted, I play like absolute garbage. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that's the play I would have done. 3+, 2+. There you go. Yeah, that's fine. Then you push it back. Yeah, that's good. Also, if you ever get a pal there, it's deeply frustrating for the offense. Because especially where's the throw raw? Throw raw's right here. Throw raw's stuck. Throw raw can't score yet. Question mark, turn order? Still got to deal with this. See, even experienced coaches do question mark, turn order. Boom. It's a very good knockdown. Should not GFI here. Oh, that could have been sadness. I mean, there is a thrower, so I get it. Now, the game is pretty... You can't really win this game, I don't think. Like, you can set up for Riot, you can set up for Quick Snap, you can set up for getting lucky and scoring quickly, but the best you're ever able to get, even if you go all out, is a tie. Setting up aggressive does get you closer to that. You in for it? This player performs the same job up here. So you're trying to prevent people from getting on the ball. If this player gets moved up here, it does the same job. You make a screen, they can't get to you. So again, look for where you can put your players up in a better screening spot. This is fine that you need to be able to get the ball to them. So you need to get like a handoff piece. G5s from the left blitz draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, the blitz draw can double GFI base you, but it can't blitz you. It's too far away. So when in doubt, click it and double check because it's too far away. It can't blitz you. Yeah, tight cages are less effective against agi teams. It comes back to the space we were talking about. They take up the space with dodges and blitzes a lot easier than bash teams do. They also can have like leap, easier times dodging in, sidestep, things that make tight cages a little more annoying. But we did cover screening when you screen where you can, cage when you must. We did cover that, and I think that's like an amazing tip. 5+ dive with the reroll. That's like what? Better than a 50-50, right? No, because like 6+ with the reroll's almost a 50-50, I think. No, 6+ with the reroll's like a 33. 5+ with the reroll's like 50-50, I think. I don't know. I don't know the odds. Somebody do the math. 4+ with the reroll is 75. I know that. Let's see here. Blitz we're probably looking for is right here, yeah. Good. Put it there, good. Alright, Bob Nut. You have a good one. I will get to your other game though. Do not worry. It will be in the VOD for you. And good luck. Boosh. You always love to see Mr. Throw actually do something. I'm sorry, did you... Orcs? You mean green elves? That's where we're going to stop that one. I don't know how much more there is to analyze there. Then, let's see. Check my notes. My crab. What's the name of Mighty Crab's team? Exalted Angels versus Fidgety Face Planters. I should have known that. I've only seen like fucking 20 of Mighty Crab's games. A passing game is a great like plan C. Like even Chaos can like do the agi passing handoff shenanigans every now and again. You like passing? Try High Elves. You like catching? Try Pro Elves. Ooh, it's an elf off. Yeah, but that was a 6+ pass. Let's take stock of what's going on here. High Elves don't have a bench. Pro Elves don't have a bench. So this is actually probably favoring the High Elves to have 11 versus 11 because they have higher armor. Do either of you have a fouling piece? Not really. No dirty player. One mighty blow versus no mighty blow. So this could be a really interesting game. And Mighty Crab's starting on defense. Or not defense, offense. Which I think is fine. You can play this several ways. You can go for the... Actually, this Agi 5 is annoying. Yeah, I don't like the boat, but, like, it's okay here. It annoys me that it's okay. I don't like the boat. Also, this catcher is beautiful. You don't know what you're doing when you set up. Okay, let's address that real quick. When you're on defense, you can go pretty formulaic. If you're worried about your positionals dying, you can go boat. If you're worried about agility, you can go chevron. So, like, if you're trying to prevent a fast score or force a fast score, both of those are good. You can go chevrons, which is you get your diagonals. That's wrong. Get your diagonals covered. And chevrons, you can remember, it's just 2 wide gaps with everybody, with the middle covered by your line of scrimmage. This is a pretty good, like, you can go chevrons every game and feel fine. You can go boat every game and feel fine. Just boat upsets me. But for the most part, defense, you just go pretty formulaic. Offense, you always are just responding to the defense. So it's not really... There's no, like, set formula for offense. That's annoying. Oh, wow, no! Mighty crap. I thought we learned not to just roll quad skulls. That's such a bad play. That's essentially your opponent got a blitz. Wrong league. You know, I want the Dub Skulls winner to be the person that also gets Dub Skull Aficionado. That's what I want. Someday we will be blessed. Okay, yeah, this is really annoying. Yeah, there was not much you could, like, this is just worst case scenario happened here. Yeah, he's wrapping the middle players, trying to force them into dodges, make it really hard. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what's going on. Wow, that's annoying. Wow, that's annoying. I don't think there was anything you could have done to prevent this, except not roll a 1 in 216. And then you don't even get a knockdown there? Oh, I would too. I would too. That's so obnoxious. That's so obnoxious. No, what is... No! It's so bad! No, that's so bad! And like, you had to do this. You had to get the diving tackle on the Agi 5 because it's just gonna catch the ball and walk through you anyways. No, you see, the annoying answer is, oh, there is RNG in the game, but there's always something you could have done better. And technically there was something that Mighty Crab could have done better. Could have taken some move actions on turn 1, but the thing is like, the 1 in 200%, the 1 in 216, you can't really plan around it. Because, like, you don't want to move all your players until you see what happens to the line of scrimmage. So it's like, that advice is not even true. Like, it's just unlucky. We're allowed to say things are unlucky. As long as it's true that it was just bad luck. Yeah, like everything was in reserve so you could take your 2 dice with blocks with the reroll. Okay. Okay, this could be recovered. Okay. I think I probably would have hit this. Actually, no, that doesn't do anything because it's got side stuff. Wait, that's not a turnover? So is it a turnover only if you failed the catch? Does the pass failing not matter? Ah, okay. I never realized why sometimes it was a failure and sometimes it wasn't. So if the pass fails, and then it scatters, and then you catch it, it's not a turnover. Huh. I'm assuming that's because things like diving catch and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, I played too much non-passing teams. That will change. I've joined Corny Jim's league. I'm playing some Pro Elves, so that'll be fun. I don't... This is a really hard position to be in. Have you tried not being in this position? Like, I don't know what to say so far. Like, I think that, like, this... So far, this is just me validating that this first half has been atrocious. You poor soul. I do like hitting this with jugs. If we can. Yeah, I think that would have been better if you hit it with jugs. But that would have been a 3+, 1 in 9 die. Look, what is this? This is cursed. This is the world elf players want you to live in. This is the future liberals want. Okay. What's the space control in this match? Yeah, let me draw it for you. Actually, no. This is actually a good example of space control. Like, not even shitting you. Like, we can actually make this work. So, red is for the angels. Cyan is for Mighty Crab. So let's see. Currently, we control something like this, right? And then, like, we own a sliver. We've got some pressure here. This is, like, more a wall rather than space control. And then, like, we got a player here. Got a player here, but that doesn't do much. But if we look at Mighty Crab, we actually have... This can go decently far. So we actually probably have control over here a little bit. Let's move that. Doesn't actually have space control, but... This is a threat, but it's not controlling space. It's just existent. And then we have, like, a little wall here-ish. Then we've probably got control right here. But it's very much in the favor of the high elves at the moment. Because, like, these are not controlling space that are good. You forgot that guy? That's fair. I figured, like, you just turned over. It's okay. This guy was also forgotten. Did you both forget about your players at the bottom? This is the future elf players one. What a silly, silly game so far. Oh, this is a G-Man game. Well, you see, Waffle Iron, it is important to remember that this was a very abnormal game, dice roll-wise. So, games where Nuffle starts to really dick with both players look really funky. Games where rookies don't know fundamentals look funky, but in ways that are, like, this should have been accounted for and controlled. But this looks very... This game is a clusterfuck in comparison to Orcs getting bashed by Khemri. This game, absolute mess. And you break away. Sack attack. Yeah. I don't like that push direction. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would have preferred hitting this way and down. Because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Giving GFIs to the loner instead would have been nice. So I think that's an actual consideration. Just pushing this guy down makes it a double GFI with the loner. So it's more out of the action. But that was probably tilt and lack of rerolls and frustration. This way was fine too. This gets the defender in the defends the diagonal. Because actually, good little segment is whenever you can put someone directly in someone's diagonal, it removes a lot of their movement. So, just as an example, before you score, let's talk about. I really like putting players on the diagonal. So right here, we've got a. How much movement is this? Movement 6. Oh, that's a slow elf. So, get this player, their movement 6. 1, 2, and let's draw the diagonal, because that's what I'm trying to talk about. So this diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to really mess them up, if you've got, like, let's say you've got a ball down here, or down here, or all the way on the diagonal. So we've got 3 players with balls. It's fine. It's fine. If you put a player on this diagonal, it forces them to go around. So instead of being able to go that diagonal, they either have to take 2 dodges and lose a space of movement, or they have to take more movement, so 1, 2, and it limits their range by a lot. So they'd be able to get here without that diagonal having to dodge through, which is several squares shorter. GFIs still don't give them the blitz unless they're willing to dodge through more. They come through here, they can still get to the blitz, but only on double GFI. Something poorly illustrated explanation of why marking the diagonals is good. That was helpful. Good. Because, like, it doesn't work the same marking the cardinal directions. Because you can just take the diagonal and still have the same amount of cardinal direction. Marking the diagonal gets rid of a lot of the movement. And, like, there's nuanced reasons why it's more effective that, like, I don't have the words for because I haven't tried yet. These teams are relatively developed, yes. This player has 4 added skills. This player has 3 added skills. This player has 3 added skills. This player has 5 added skills. I play with added skills on almost exclusively. So unless I specifically put on all skills, these are all added. So yeah, these are probably like what, 1,500, 1,600? $1,600 for you? Yeah, that's about what it felt. Yeah, good. Um... most sailors actually don't have dodge as base. Like, this catcher, it has catch. But, other than that, the only really, like, base skill they have is, they have a couple catch, they have block. That's it. They don't even have a thrower, so they don't have anything for, that. It's just a couple catch and a couple block. And then the Pro Elves, they mainly have, they have a thrower that's got pass. They've got blitzers that got the sidestep. Block sidestep. So blitzers are good. Then the catchers have catch, nerves of steel, which is really good. But the main thing with elves is like their stats are really good. Agi 4 is amazing. Moving far is amazing. Yeah, I figured. I know for me I find the Blood Bowl camera moving halfway through an activation is annoying. Also, Waffle Iron, in case you've never played with Jugs, Jugs is weird. Jugs prevents Russel and Stand Firm and Fend. It always pops up a prompt asking if you want to use Jugs. But what Jugs is actually asking you is, do you want to turn this both down into a push? Yeah, only on Blitz. The Jug prompt says, do you want to turn this both down into a push? That's all it's ever asking. The rest of it is automatic. But that's like that is a poor UI context clues, not everybody that does it wrong is an idiot and should have known better. But even if you don't remember what it does, if you remember that Jugs is weird, you can probably look it up in time to figure out what it does. Okay, this is... Were we able to get that with tech piece? Maybe? Maybe? I'm probably more likely to try and blitz this and get diving tackle on you. Or, you know, actually, we got a wrestle piece. Duh. Duh. Okay, you're just... That's annoying. How many times are you going to catch the ball like that? Okay, and then I would screen over here to prevent diving tackle from getting hit. Fantastic. Good. Yeah, I like this. Cover that diagonal. Good. Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, covering diagonals with down players that you can't blitz out of the way is also fun. Yep, and they're able to. It's a very dodgy game. There's very low amounts of tackle, actually. It's actually one of those weird things where, in a lot of leagues, Agi teams don't face many other Agi teams, so they build more to be defended against bashiness. So many agility teams only have like 1 or 2 tackle. So it's actually like the mirror is interesting. On the flip side, most bash teams are built to kill bash. Doesn't work in Blood Bowl 2020 with jump over players? I have no clue how any of that works. It still forces a dice roll, though, doesn't it? Isn't it still an agility roll? So, like, it does work, just not, like, the same way. It forces a roll rather than a... Well, actually, that's probably pretty similar to what you do with a diagonal. Like, if you're able to make the movement anyways, even with blocking the diagonal, it forces maybe a GFI. So it's just pretty similar, actually. It still probably works just fine. Yeah, which is like the point of blocking the diagonal anyways. You're just like trying to force a GFI or a dodge. That's a pretty unfortunate removal. 10 versus 11 for the whole game. This cage is fine. Against elves, like, caging is a little more forced just because they're so fast. It's a little rough. AV1 is injured. Oh no. Pro elves are a good passing team because of Nerves of Steel and Catch. High elves are an amazing passing team, but they take longer to develop. I think the best throwers in the game are toss-up between High Elf Thrower and Pro Elf Thrower? No, I think the High Elf Thrower is better. The Pro Elf Catchers are better. Because Pro Elf Catchers are just amazing. I also prefer Pro Elf Blitzers over High Elf Blitzers. Because starting with block and sidestep is just awesome. Because then you get 6 SPP and now you have Blodge Step. It's amazing. Whereas, what do you get on High Elf Blitzer? Like, you get block, you get sadness, right? Like, same stat line. Is it the same stat line, or do they have an extra movement? I think it's the same stat line. That being said, High Elf Catchers are quick. Yeah, I mean, they both have the same stat line. But Catchers are better. Pro Elves, because they have Nerves of Steel. But both of them are really fun. Dark Elves are like a bashy elf team. I think Dark Elves are probably the hardest elf team to learn. Other people would disagree with me. But I don't think they have as much of that, like, flash, I've got your ball, I'm in the end zone, bing bang pow. I think they're much more of like a control elf team in like a weird way. Because like they want to play around the sideline, they want to use 4 Blodge Blitzers to control the field. And like their playstyle really promotes columning, when I don't think columns are the best defensive setup most of the time. But that's like a neither here nor there sort of thing. Like, well, I think we have talk about columns later in one of the next games. Yeah, the very next game is going to be IDAS asking about how to progress against columns. So we'll get into that. So I won't talk our ears off about that yet. Some uneven columns, yeah. I think these columns are fine though, because the uneven part is on the sidestep piece. It's okay. It's more like overlapping screens here rather than columns. You would have to knock him down because sidestep. Yeah, the dodges there wasn't much you could do about, but that's just the nature of, you're already down. You're down 3 players in comparison. And I think that you're just forced to give up space against the High Elves. I think this is just really hard to defend against. The main thing you're trying to prevent here is you don't want the High Elves to run through you, and you don't want the High Elves to run through you and then like defend back here, because then they can stall for quite a while. And that's a surf. Oh no. Yep. Casualties are really mounting up. But you see there's surfing good. Surfing good. Tilt also, yeah. Getting our diving tackle over here. Okay. And the high elves are just able to take their time. This is one of those, like... it can be frustrating going against fast-moving teams that have the ball in a even scoreline. Because in order to win, you have to get the ball from them. But they can just kind of, like, hold it and stand around for a little bit until forced to act. Because I think, like, right now, if the high elves really wanted to draw, they could just say, fuck it, and start backing up every turn. And then they would get a draw. Whereas the pro elves have to go super aggressive to try and win. But if they back up and you are okay with a draw, you can just, like, not chase them. But I don't recommend that. Yep. The longer they wait, the more likely you are to take the YOLO play. I agree. Like, if you get a chance to force the score, you force it, because then I think you have better odds of tying that way. Because you're pros, you're really good at fast scores. That's a very good hit. Apo doesn't matter as much. Down 4 versus down 1. Gonna be very hard to prevent the score, though. I think even if you're doing things right, this is just like a hard situation to be in. Just really didn't want things to die. Why extra Apo and an elf off? So, like, I would have, like, in the elf off, like, if you want to keep your number advantage, just go for double babe. Keep your Apo. You can still aggressively Apo. And there's only one mighty blow, no dirty play. Like, that's a really strange choice. But also, hear me out. Hear me out. Just buy alignment with your inducement money. That's even better than double babe if you want to try and keep that player advantage in a case of casualty. And this is really hard to aggress on the cage. Still try to, I think. I think this is the turn where you, like, base a couple things with the sidestep and hope it works. But it's, like, not very optimal. And then, like, this is able to score still. Right here. And these can just get handed the ball, but you're fine if they do decide to do that. You just go for the counter score. Got to base him. Oh, fair. But okay, so here's honestly, worst case scenario, they score turn 16 and you try and one turn with a movement 9 piece, right? I think you still have enough players to one turn. Can't one turn for shit? You got a movement 9 sidestep. What do you mean you can't one turn? You don't know how... What do you mean? You're so... You can just set up for shenanigans and, like, get a quick snap, and boom, you need one push for a one turn. What do you mean? What do you mean? I need to have a segment. Yeah, chain push is how you do one-turns. But I need to have a stream where we just go through several common one-turn strategies. Because, like, I'm just gonna, like, get clips of people doing one-turns. And we're gonna just, like, watch, like, 3 hours worth of one-turning. And then nobody can have that excuse again. I like that. I like that a lot. I like this a lot. Like that. Agi5 dodge with dodge. Into pick up with Agi5 and shenanigans. This is good. This is good. Russel do the thing. Okay, blocking that. Good. Several hits available here. Spooky. Spooky. It's a good spot for you to go, though. Catch it. Catch it. Catch it. Catch it. There you go. It's your turn for the magnet hands. Honestly, this game deserved to be a draw. Yeah, Nerves of Steel. I'm aware. Oh no, okay, I didn't see the emote. Yeah, love Nerves of Steel. Nerves of Steel so good. Oh yeah, Wallfire, this game was absolute shenanigans. But yeah, you really did pick a good moment to go in. Really liked that. Agi5 opens up so many possibilities. But this was best case scenario right here. Yeah, thanks for sending that one in. That was fun to go through. I don't think we got much good information out of it. We got a little bit, but it was like tangential. But that was very fun to watch. Okay, and then we have 2 more games. No, we have 3 more games. Oh, yeah, okay. No. 2 more games, but one of them is from both Outcast and Bopnot. Okay, so we're gonna do even-handed for the last one. That's gonna be a hard one to think through. Then we have a Chorf versus Necro College game. It was like National Geographic elf mating rituals. Oh, love it. So we're going for Goliath's Sidekicks versus Ambling Rocks. We're going to watch from Ida's perspective with a focus on, what was it? How to score such progress against column defense. Had so many games sent in today. This is great. I love this. I need to start getting like 4 or 5 games every week, just like picking them out if nobody's sent it, if I don't have enough in. I didn't realize how much energy I've had with all my new inhalers I've been on. I still feel good. I can still go. Like last year, I would have already been done. I would have been like, whew, winded. Also, I'm going to a hockey game tomorrow. My brother got some tickets up in Cincinnati. I'm gonna go watch a hockey game. I'm excited. I've never seen a hockey game. I've heard that the local team is garbage, but it'll be fun anyways. I think they have like a 7-game straight loss record or something right now. I didn't even know there was a hockey team in Cincinnati. Or it might be Covington or Newport or somewhere near Cincinnati. Real quick, let's cover this defense. So when you're setting up on defense, you want to prevent quick snap being an issue. Quick snap allows the offense to move a space. Like getting diagonal pushes, yes. But quick snap, offense gets to move a space. If you set up on the second line, quick snap gives up extra hits. So right here, the Necro can get 3 extra hits. Extra hits lead to casualties and KOs, which makes your drive harder. So definitely on defense. Unless you have a strong reason to set up on the second line, you want to prevent the quick snap hits. Good reason to set up on second line would be if you're trying to force a turnover in the last few turns of a game, if you're desperate, or if you really, really outstrength somebody. Like, let's say you're Nurgle with bunch of guard against, like, some measly elves. But it's usually the exception rather than the rule. No, I feel you. One of these days, I'll go through and like demonstrate my thought process on one turns because I don't have any set things. I just kind of like general chaining together chain pushes. That's all it is. Like, I think if you have a movement 9 or a movement 8 piece, you should definitely learn to one turn, learn the fundamentals of it. If you have a movement 7, it can be a little tricky. Movement 6, that's pretty excusable to not be able to do that. You need several frenzy pieces for movement 6 to be super doable. It's 2 pushes for movement 9. Which, with sidestep, movement 9 with sidestep is 1 blitz with 1 follow-up hit. That's all you need. That's all you need. But yeah, like, one of these weeks, if there is, like, a lull in games, I'll designate, like, some time, and we'll just do some concept building on one turns. It'll be fun. This is fine so far. If your opponent has, like, jugs, it can be impossible. Not jugs. Stand firm, it can be impossible. If they have sidestep, it can be impossible. If they have, like, blanket sidestep, blanket, yada yada. And there are tons of ways to make it difficult, but it's actually really hard to make one turns impossible without just 3 stand firm. Or 3 sidestep. And there's definitely ways that they can force you to take more hits, that sort of thing. But also sometimes, like, in an attempt to make your chain pushes harder, they give you more chain pushes. It's actually really funny. So far this is okay. Really want to free up our chorfs over here. I want to take the hits we're being given. And we want to slow down the ball or force it to score. Either one of those is acceptable. So I kind of like taking this hit here with this Jorf. I would not really move this up and back. So I'm going to go to added skills, which there are none, but that's fine. Against most teams, you don't really want to get behind them if you're a slower team like Chorfs, even with a Hobgoblin or Bull Centaur, unless you're trying to force them to cage. But that's... Without getting too much into details, like right here is the ball. I would like to bring players back in front of the ball. Or to the side, to the diagonal of the ball, that sort of thing. Because if you get players in the front of the ball, you slow its progress, pretty much guaranteed, because they have to deal with your players with blitzes, dodges, something like that. Where if you put your player behind, like we are doing right here, I understand this is to get a better hit, but this really doesn't slow down the ball if they want to score. And it also doesn't threaten the ball to force them to score. Which that's really what you're looking for in this sort of situation. Because if you can force your opponent to score in 2 or 3 turns, you've got 5 or 6 turns to score yourself, with just plenty of time to feel comfortable doing so. Even as like a slow team like Chores. And this is fine, take your hits. This is good. Whoa! Oh wait, no, Hobgoblin, not Chorf. Never mind. Ignore me. Good hit. Hits get removals. And that, oh, that gives you a hit on the ball. That's a 2-die on the ball, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not a hit on the ball, but a hit on the defender. And this gets you marked on the ball? Yeah, that's fine. I like that. Okay. Gives you a 2-die here. That's good. And even if the enemy gets past you, you've made a lot of pressure. So it's fine if they score here. If they score here or get past you with only a couple defenders, this is fine. Two. Well done. Okay. With marks. White marks. White does not mark. Is this a score? It's not a score. That ball is not safe though. So you get the blitz 1 die, 1 die. Or 1 die with a reroll. And that's fine. Now it's gonna be a dodge into 1 die with a reroll. Well, potentially with a reroll. Maybe not, you have to use it for the dodge. Okay, that's fine. And then we've got this hit as well. Oh, you don't need to do that. Just use this guy. And because if you use this person to get the hit there, you could have freed up one of those, but that frees up the bull centaur. Actually, that's better. Never mind. Ignore me. Good job. 2 die. You could argue that you wanted to reroll that. I think I would have taken 4 dice on the ball. 3 successes for knocking it down. It's pretty good. And then I probably would have dodged this off, because I don't think that was an armor break. So I'd probably dodge this back off to here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I would just go for the surf. And this isn't even forced to score, I don't think. I think this ball could have been held back here for greater effect. So if I was Goliath, I think I would have stalled. But that's fine. This is not a bad situation to be in as IDS. Forcing a quick score, quote-unquote forcing. Get 5 turns to counter score. That's really good for Chores. Chores love 5 turns. Let's see what we can figure out here. Gonna talk about columns here in a second, I'm sure, when they appear. And normally columns are pretty straightforward to deal with if you're going against columns that are done by elves. Against things with like stand firm and block skills, it can be a little harder, but it's generally same principles. just a look here. 2 people to pick up the ball, so one picks it up, the other one secures it. Good. Alright, so, yep, get your turn order in. Yeah, chores are pretty good. Chores are pretty good. Their main disadvantage is they don't really have agi skills, and they're pretty slow, save for the centaurs and the hobs are pretty weak overall. Like they're fine, but they don't have everything you want. This was a mistake. Should have taken your hits diagonally. And you don't want to use the people on the end, they only get 1 dex. Okay, and I would put them here, okay? And having down players be marked just gives you another hit if they decide to stand up. And then I don't think we actually set up to take a blitz, which, that's a big no-no to me. You want to actually take your blitz, even if it was just, like, on a zombie. It wasn't really, like, you could hit a flesh golem, but that probably gets you marked if you don't do it block. So not taking it, not the end of the world, but taking hits is good. Heavy basing is actually pretty bad for the Necro, because they can just, if they get into a bash fight against block pieces, they can get removed. And that's why you take your hits. Even against AV9 Thick Skull. I'm more like, this should have been done by a wolf, because Claw is better than Mighty Blow against AV9. And it's like, Claw is about even with Mighty Blow against AV8. Claw is useless against AV7. And right here, we're still not concerned. You just pick up the ball and centralize. We don't have to come defend super hard yet. So right here, this Chorf, I think they should have stayed over here. No, it's not Claw itself that's crazy. It is Claw in addition to Mighty Blow. Claw in addition to Mighty Blow turns everything into AV7. And the combination's been nerfed in Blood Bowl 3 and 2020 rule set. Okay, and here, we're all bunched up. We talked about this earlier in the stream as well. I don't think you want to cage here. The ball's already safe if you just screen off. We can get more pressure up on the pitch. So this player can be over here. This player can be over here. This player can be right here. And we can have threat to go either side of the pitch here. So like we can come around here in later turns. We can bring more support up here. That sort of thing. But right now, what caging here does is it consolidates us in a small area. Like we're only controlling this much of the pitch. And on future turns, the Necro can just, I'm assuming this is what we're going to be seeing, do something like this. Just kind of like hole you up in this small section of the pitch. And now, in this position, it's really hard to get up and around and get to the end zone in 5 turns. And even if you blitz, like you're going to squeeze into smaller and smaller areas. So you'll get like wedged up here. The defenders will be over here instead, pushed into the sideline. So you really want to expand your team where you can. Try to take a bit more of a wide stance and give you options on both sides of the pitch as long as you can. Because like screens, you're not likely to get hit from behind anyways, especially if you screen. Now, they might blitz through your screen and mark your ball carrier, but you can deal with that. You don't have to be super worried about being marked on the ball carrier. It's much more important to not get blitzed. And like, you know, it's good to avoid being marked, but that's not like the major concern most of the time. So right here, this is what we see. We're just getting screened off here. So, from here, 1 second. This is still not columns. This is exactly what I was talking about. You see how we're now holed up? Would I blitz left and try to make space? No, I would blitz right. But this is actually a hard spot to deal with now. Because before, if we were set up like right here, even if something gets knocked down, we have one piece to blitz. Oh, no. Wrong button again. Here, you kind of need to stabilize, but we don't have much time. We don't get to make very many fun choices. Oh, yeah, I thought you were changing your mind. I get you. So, yeah, this stand firm is a real issue. We don't really want to blitz that. That doesn't give us much space. I think we're probably forced... What are we forced to do even? It's hard to say. We might be forced to break through, but I think that gives up the ball, so we don't actually want to do that. We want to just be conservative on this turn. Blitz this, try to get it down, and then try to get something over here. We can't really go down this. We don't have the speed. We don't have the bashiness. You know, keep a bull on both sides of the pitch. You here, you like over here maybe, after blitzing through. And then like the bulls can become scoring threats on the next turn. Yeah, scoring threat would be a bull, most likely. Because I don't think we can get a hob into scoring range this turn. Next turn, we want to get as many scoring threats as we can, because we're going to have to potato. But this could have been a better situation if we had set up with screens instead of caging back here. Because these three players didn't really provide much protection from getting surrounded. Preventing getting surrounded means you don't need a cage. Whereas, like, if you go into a cage too early, you have a self-fulfilling prophecy of why you need a cage. It's like, oh, I need a cage in case I get surrounded. And now you're surrounded and you're like, oh, I definitely should have used the cage because look at this, I've gotten surrounded. But you wouldn't have gotten surrounded if you had screened off rather than formed a cage there. So even here, this is not much space. We've not created any space. We have no way to break through on the next turn. Yeah, that blitz didn't do anything. That blitz doesn't free up space, doesn't give us a path through, doesn't really do anything except go for a removal. Yeah. And here, this is covering this weak diagonal. I don't know what the Chorus can do on this turn. I think you kind of have to blitz this white and hope it gives you enough space to go through. And then you have to get in scoring range. You have to come up. You probably have to take the 75 dodge. Yeah, so that's scoring range. Yes, tight cages are good when you're near the end zone and just stalling. Tight cages are important when you're forced to do them. Like if your opponent's wrapped around you and they've got you, like your opponent should be forcing you into a cage. You should not just say, I want to be in a cage. Nut versus jump. It eats cages for breakfast. No. Even against leap, cages with guard are good. It is better to screen off, but if they're leaping in, like that's gonna happen anyways. Fireballs are also important not to cage against. Very true. Very true. Because even if it's not a fireball, against like a War Dancer, they can just lightning bolt and go for the pickup with the War Dancer anyways, after blitzing something down, even in a cage. We do have scoring threats, so this is actually a chance to score. This is actually better than you'd expect most of the time. And that wasn't bad. This was actually a good recovery from a terrible situation. You gave yourself a good chance of scoring. If you've succeeded on that 4+, you've got GFIs with sure feet, so it's not actually that bad. So that was actually a decent recovery. I will say, though, that was not Column's defense. That was just a Necro screening. Screening and Columns are mostly the same. But just like going into terminology, that I would describe as just general screening, and you deal with that by creating space, blitzing down targets, finding breakthrough points. Most Columns is just general cookie cutter, too deep, too wide. Too deep, too wide. So 2 wide gap, 2 players deep. So this is your general column. And the way you deal with columns... Let me erase this. The way you deal with columns is actually really simple if you're a bash team. You take your player, you get an assist here, then you blitz with another player, boom, push them. And actually, no. Let me be more clear. Get your assist here. Blitz either side, doesn't matter. Blitz either side. Boom, boom. And then, depending on what happens here, if you knock them down, great. If you just get a push, also fine. But you're really just trying to maximize your contact points against a column. So you get a knockdown, you push this back here. So now we've got something like this. And I usually follow this up as well. Let me get that there real quick. So now we've got 2 players here, and now we do the basoning. Bring a player here. Bring a player here. Bring a player here. Mark. 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 You want to mark all of these things up. And this works best when you have guard, right? But you're just trying to maximize your contact points so your endpoint... I put this in the advice channel the other day. Probably end up looking something like this with high strength and guard. You want to double, triple mark some things. Because the point is, you're forcing them to roll dodges, roll low odds, blocks, things like that. And it's okay if this doesn't cause them to turn over. Yes, that's if you're better at basing. If you're not better at basing, you need to find a way to force them to move some way or another. But even if you're not better at basing, it's probably the way to go, unless you're able to blitz and try to get a removal. But this is assuming bash versus edge, like pretty standard. So what happens on your opponent's turn then is they're like, oh no, I don't want to be punched in the face. So what do? Boom, 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 boom. They reform the column. But the idea is they either fail a dodge and you get to break through a now deformed columns. If they're better at bashing and they form columns, like you have an isolated advantage. You just hit one of their more important pieces. Because like I'll go over that in here in just a second. But the elves, they just reform the columns and you do the same thing. And you do this until either you've broken through, they've failed something, you removed a piece, and they can no longer do columns. Because true columns takes 11 players. And you remove 2 players and they can no longer do columns. Not even remove a player. Break armor 2 times and they can't do true columns. And they're going to have gaps. Whether it's on the sideline, whether it's in the middle, somewhere's going to be open. So now let's say that you're a... for some reason, your opponent is a bash team. And they've decided to columns. So let's say we're against Nurgle, right? We're against Nurgle. And let's assume just 4 columns like this. This could be positioned slightly different. Against like a slow bash team, I would go after this piece. Boom. Blitz it. Right? So we blitz this guy. Now we have someone here. This dude on the ground. And just like, let's try to overload it this way. Let's try to break through. Let's get players past. And then, like, you know, we can hold the ball, like, right here. We don't have to go through yet. Hold the ball. screen it off, and like break through the side. Because now, Nurgle, they can't come and cover this all the way. Like, oh no. Oh no, we're in trouble. And then like, it's no longer columns. They can't dodge off and reform columns. And they're slow. What are they gonna do? No, I was talking about just general columns. I wasn't talking about this game. That was a tangent lesson. Not me misspeak. Yeah. Because we were talking about how to deal with columns as Bash versus Agi. Yeah. Talking about it before we forget. Very good questions from you, Waffle, though. Very good questions. And then as the chores here, what we're looking for, if you're wanting to win, you go for a quicker score. If you're glad with the draw, you kind of just like bash your way down the field. I'd like to see the Bull Centaur come up here, and that screams off this whole area. Again, we're going straight into a cage, and this is going to end up a lot like the last time. It's going to be hard to progress down the field. We're going to get bogged down. And even on this side, we're bringing our players in. We're giving up this entire sideline when we do this. Even here, if this was right here, just a couple squares out, that secures more of the flank. You don't need these players back here. We'd have 4 players freed up to go for forward progress. Go to the side a little bit. Cover the center. Oh, yeah, exactly. I've done it. I've been there. I've seen more rookie games than most people in the rookie league. You've seen a lot of rookie games because you're a slow learner. I see a lot of rookie games because I have a lot of rookies. Exactly, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Because even if they succeed all their dodges and punches, right? They reform the columns backwards a square. You've created space. And if they fail something, they're no longer in columns. You can brutalize them. Because the point of columns is not to delay your enemy for 8 turns. The point of columns is to make 1 or 2 turns very difficult. In a pinch, it can make 3 really difficult, especially if you have a massive player advantage. But columns in general are a tool, not like a default. Like I would consider columns more like they're a wrench, right? You need the right columns for the right job. If you make your columns too big, it's not gonna fit the nut you're trying to use. You know, this is a really weird analogy. I don't think it really fits. We're going with it. Meanwhile, Claw Palm is a hammer. If you hit things hard enough and long enough, eventually the hammer will work. Unless somebody comes along and breaks your hammer will be fine. And here we see this is just a 2 wide screen. Oh, we see some columns here. We've already talked about this, so I won't drive the point too hard. We've really talked about columns. Would it have been better to push this piece back? Probably not. I like to keep things based on the ground, especially when you have a lot of turns and you can get a lot of punches in. Yeah, I do not think columns are the default. A lot of rookies go to columns default, though. But even as, like, a Chaos team, you know, columns on turn, like, 6 or 7, like, and you don't have to go full columns. I don't like 5 full columns. I don't think that's ever the way. But going, like, a column, 2 column, and then 1 on the side, like, 3 columns to get pressure, force people to the sideline, that's great. Okay, this breaks us through. I don't hate this. Mark something. Don't stop here. This blocks your way through. So this was a good path through that we stopped a little too early. This guy needs to get out of the way. He's done his job, right? Get him here. So let's get him out of the way. And then we can bring guys up here. Guy up here. This guy can come through. We can bring this guy here. And then defend the ball. So we've got all this squiggly people running through, right? People running through. And then hold the ball back here with a couple defenders. And boom. Don't block your pathway through. That's the most important thing. When you break through, okay. If you're going to break through, go through. If you're just hitting something, hit something on the side. Thin them out. Make them in a consolidated space. Hit their edge pieces. If you're going to hit the middle, you need to be breaking through. Otherwise, you're just going to end up clumped. That was a decision. I think that Goliath really should be blitzing with these wolves a lot more than he has been. I really need to move my stream elements timer back. It does that notification too often. Absolutely. But not just that, but also forcing players into more hits. You can frenzy people into like foulable position, that sort of thing. So I think that there could have been a couple of fouls. Like, there's so many zombies on the pitch. Let's foul some of them. Like this right here, let's foul this. This would be fun. Let's get this fouled. Blitz with the white. Oh, that's good too. Yeah, let's foul this. Foul this. Do it. Do it. Step on it. Step on it. Don't blitz with the flesh golem if you can avoid it. I think that blitzes should be done with the whites or the werewolves. I think there's very little reason to blitz with the flesh golems. Good. Good foul. Good foul. Love to see it. So now here, we can actually get through on the side here. Let's think about if we can do this, right? We just start with this. See if this gets a knockdown. See if it gets a push. Consider going this way. If it's a knockdown, great. Bring your Bull Centaur here. Try and get this knocked down. See if we can get some other stuff knocked down and progress over here. All these are slow. We don't have to worry about these. These are all slow and caught over here. We're fine. The wolves are still annoying, but we can break through in 2 turns. Yes. 1 dice with block is better than a 2 die without. Not... Well, mostly. If you have a reroll, it is. No. If you don't have a reroll, it's kind of like wonky. 2 dice with block is guaranteed better. But it's a 1 in 6 versus 1 in 9. So block is 1 in 6 to fail. 2 die without block is 1 in 9 to fail. 1 die block with a reroll, though, is a 1 in 36. That's the same as a 2+ dodge with dodge. No, that was a fine direction. That was fine. Pushing it over here opens the sideline up more. Pushing it towards the sideline threatens a serve. That's the difference there. This piece should come up here. So we've just created space, but we didn't claim it. So let's talk about this problem right here. This piece should have been up here. This piece should either be over here, or up here, or right here. You want to claim the space that you just made, because otherwise it's just going to stand some stuff up and block it off again. Not if you screen it off. Not if you screen it off. So the idea is, it's actually it's kind of like topography, right? You know, a coffee mug is a donut, sort of thought, right? So these 2 pieces are preventing hits on the back, But what if we moved this up here? And we moved this right here? They're still preventing hits on the back. They're just in a different space. And that's kind of how I like to think of it. Like, can I use the same piece in a more useful position to perform the same job? A cage is just a screen close together. Yeah, there's nothing on the left that could get around, but I was just demonstrating. Like, imagine if like this was a werewolf, like that's what you would do different. But there is no werewolf. You would move this up here, because this one doesn't need to be here at all. This one doesn't need to do anything back here. But yeah, this space that we just created and didn't claim is now blocked by a zombie. If we had a Chorf here marking the downed flesh golem, then it would have either forced a blitz or something like that. This is good. This is widening up your offense. That's a little bold. You don't have to be all the way up here. Because this is only if you're desperate. Like, if this was turn 7 or 8, or if this was turn 7, I would go this far. But you still have to get the ball to them. So, I would rather them be like a tile or 2 back even. Because you don't have to score next turn. You still have 2 turns to score. And this player's only useful if they've got the ball. Like right here, this is still blitzable by your opponent. It's actually just harder for you to make use of it next turn. Because it's harder to get a handoff, get a pass. And if they don't end up with the ball, they're further away from the other play. So you want to keep more team cohesion as it is. If you were elves, this is fine because this is still handoff range. Like, you know, pro elf catcher, that's fine. But also, pro elf catcher would also still be 2 tiles back because you don't have to go that far out. I would not have moved the ball yet. Because we're giving up a lot of options by doing that. That's mostly fine. Go and be a second scoring threat. Before doing this, though, I really would have liked to see, like, we could break through here. We don't have to go through there. So we take this hit, follow up. Like, if this was a knockdown, let's say this was a POW, we could follow up, we could blitz through here, and we could get up to this bull centaur. And right now, as the Necro, I think that there should be one of these gets marked, the other one gets blitzed. No. Wrong. Wrong. One of these should be marked, the other one should be blitzed. Because the only way you get the game tied on you is if the Chorf score, you just mark. Yeah, not taking the 1 die with the goblin is suspect. No, Necro should be expecting the pass. That's question number 1 when you start a turn of Blood Bowl. What turn is it? Is it turn 15? Yes? No? If yes, deal with scoring threats. If no, deal with scoring threats that are dire. That's just like... Yeah, but just like, some more fundamentals and like this game should have been fine for the Chorfs. But the Necro were never forced to do anything. Their nice passive defense was enough because it wasn't punished. And if you were a little more aggressive in space taking, Necro would have been forced to do more. Yeah, yeah. The wasted reroll was pretty sad. But that was also a turn ordering issue. You want to take your less risky actions first, your less necessary, or like just your safer actions, followed by your necessary actions and stuff like that. But that was not a bad game. Just needs to brush up on fundamentals. That's all. And our last game will be Bopnut versus Outcast. It's not that one. Not that one. Chaos Horn. There we go. And both of them had questions about this game. So we're going to try and give a little bit of even-handed review. Way to defend the ball from Outcast, and how to defend the second half. 2-turn tips for Chorfs. We'll go to 2 turns when it becomes relevant. We'll go over defense when it becomes relevant. We're going to watch from the offensive point of view, because the offense is the more proactive part of the game. It's the most decision-making, that sort of thing. Here's a great example of you can take chevrons every game and be happy. Like, Chaos don't have to do anything. Chevrons is fine. Are Chorfs somewhat meta? Yeah, they are. This is Chevron's set up wrong. Oh, this is forcing the side, but also, okay, I don't hate this. This is fine. Chorfs are mainly, they're decent at most price points. They're great up until like 1700 TV. Then they start to be overtaken by Chaos and Nurgle, the super heavy bash teams. But they're pretty solid most of the runtime. You see it now, huh? You ran out of time. Okay, never mind. That makes more sense. But yeah, this is a great example of chevrons are fine against just about anything. Here we see diagonal blocks. We've talked about that. Very good. And Russel is good. Do you always kick center without kick skill? For the most part, yeah. Unless you have a reason not to. It's just that it's more like if you really need the kick to go a certain place, or like it's just that kicking it's got so much scatter to it. You've got no real control over it. You just want to hit central. Yeah, kicking 1 or 2 to the side is fine. You don't ever really want to go much more than 1 or 2, just because especially with very nice weather. It can scatter another square, so if you... So let's just think about this. If we kick center, then it's not really ever... It's going to land on like one of these squares, right? And if it bounces, it can go another. So if it bounces, it can go out. And every time we move an extra square, it gives another range of that bounce. So it's just more and more likely every single tile you move. Yeah, kicking center does have a lot of touchbacks, because there is like every single tile on the edge has a chance of bouncing out. And especially in these corners, they've got almost double the chance to bounce out. But every time you move a tile further, it's the whole perimeter is a bounce zone. And then very nice weather is the most common weather, and that gives another tile range. So it's like Mighty Blow to touchbacks. That's not a good way of describing very nice weather, but we're gonna go with the touchbacks. Nice weather is the Mighty Blow of touchbacks. What am I even saying? People allow me to talk to rookies? This is ridiculous. Somebody fire me. Okay, I really like taking hits with the Claw Mighty Blow. Very good. Would have rather seen a hit on guard, but they were all defended, so you couldn't. That's A-okay. Changing weather is 16.16? 16.6? Yeah, that's not bad. It just goes into, like, the conservative play is to kick dead center. If it's fine for you that they get a touchback, like, yeah, lean it to the side of Tyler, too. I just normally don't bother. Unless, like, I really needed to go to a certain spot. Like, oh, it would be really bad if it went to the back left corner for them. Then I'll do it. But not other than that. And also, I think if you are going to lean it to the side, you should lean it a cardinal direction rather than diagonal. Because diagonals are much more likely to go out. Because you're getting, like, 2 directions extra chance to go out. Does that make sense? Yep. This is a great example. We see a lot of space being controlled here, as opposed to the some of the other games. Like, look at this. Look at this space. And who's defending the ball? No one, because the whole team's all taken up defending the ball. We don't need people on the ball specifically. Surfs are good. Really like that surf. Then Claw Mighty Blow on a guard piece. Very good hit. Does not break, but yeah, I think this is a wonderful example of some good things. Like, because we've talked about, like, this is what you're not wanting to do. You're wanting to be more spread out, and then this is a great example of it right after. This is wonderful. Which is, like, kind of to be expected, because both Bothnop and Outcast are pretty solid players, even though they're both minors. I think that they've both had a lot of growth over their college season and into their minors. No, these are now an immediate threat. They had to be dealt with this turn, but they were not a threat until now. But, like, them getting here is fine. So now this is where we would be caging up, screening off more behind. But, that being said, we can get past these players so they won't be a threat unless they do something. So yeah, like, keep an eye on these players. They're going to be left in the dust. That's SPP greed. That was for a level. Let's be very clear, that wasn't, like, the right play. That was done for a level. But also, the scatter wasn't too bad, even if it did scatter. Yep, and still making space forward. Exactly. And then these players, like, are in between them and the ball. And, like, this Chaos Warrior is so out of position. Momo is so out of position. Momo is probably going to be behind the play for, like, the entire drive. And here we see this Chorf trying to be pushed out of the action. This guard getting separated from the rest of the team is really good for Chaos. Oh, yeah. I can agree with Agi teams, it's a bit much more manageable. I think the main problem is... I think kicking to the side as, like, aggressive defenders is great. Like vampires, pro elves, high elves, depending on how aggressive you play high elves. Like, if you're Bringer and you're playing high elves, you're just in people's face the entire game. It's wonderful. Dark elves, even. Kick is like giving your player niggle. I agree with that sentiment. Okay, and then we're going to centralize a little bit. That's fine. I like that. Ooh. But yeah, you see here, these two Chaos players are so behind the play. And then, like, this is the fine time to cage. Because we have players behind that we want to be concerned about. We have players in front. And if we make a breakthrough, the whole cage can come through. And we're holding on to this corner. This is probably where the blitz comes through. For the chaos. Like, because here's the thing, right? Yeah, I meant kicking not center. Sorry, I misspoke. So back or sideways. Yeah, no need for push up the side because we've made this space. And the thing is like, when you make space and take it with your defenders, you don't have to run your ball through there. It's just, it creates an option that the defense has to play around. So right here, this is now my concern if I'm Chaos, right? Because this Bull Centaur is holding off this pathway to all this empty space. But at the same time, we got to worry about this piece. So what I'm looking at here is I really want to blitz this Bull Centaur, and even just a push helps shore up the defense. So I'm like doing something like this, bang pow, and then trying to cover, and then shoring up the middle. But the main thing is, when you're on defense, you need to keep a strong hold of the center, because even if they make a space on the sideline, they can still come back to the center if you're too weak. And here, Outcast, you need to be a little more careful. You really don't want to get your Chaos Warriors behind the enemy, especially, because they're just so slow. What about Mighty Blow, Clawgore? Yes, offsetting skill-wise is really good. So if you kick the ball away from their killers, very good. I think Mighty Blow Claw is not the biggest issue. I think Claw Palm is the main issue for me. Yeah, that's fine. That happens. It's important to remember that the team that's more central is by default going to be faster because they don't have to go around. Like, if you're more centralized than your opponent, you get the direct line. So like 4 movement is more effective than 5 movement, just because you're able to take straight. Whereas the 5 movement, I might have to go around a player, might have to take a dodge, GFI, that sort of thing. Yeah. After Blood Bowl 2, piling on was a team reroll, which I think that makes it fine. Claw Palm with like using team rerolls, that's fine by me. But yeah, you see how we did in fact break through this diagonal. So, Outcast, I want to go back. I want to really emphasize this spot here. Where's it go? It comes like right here, right? So that blitz is good. Comes right here. Yeah. Holding this pathway open. And then once you invert the field, you're in a great spot as the offense. So we kept our team wide, kept our options open. Managed to break through, and not just managed to break through, we went through. We brought our defenders, brought the ball. And now the Chaos had to play catch-up to try and get in front of the ball, try and sack it. They had to take dodges, they had to take GFIs, use team rerolls. So this was really well done by Mr. Bopnot. And somewhere around here, I'm assuming that Outcast gets the ball down, because asking how to defend it once you get it down. We've got players stuck all the way over here. Blitz Centaur mark the ball? No, there was just a double GFI to hit the ball. This is the play you make. Hey, Artrez. How's it going, my friend? Been a while. We've got a lot of games to do. It's okay. It's okay. I didn't count either. I just assumed that we would see. Now that, yeah, that's fair. So from here, I don't think there was a way to defend it yet. Now what? Now you had to see what happens. You had to see what your opponent does. Because you used up all your resources to get the ball down. which is not a knock on you, that's just the reality of it. You get several both down bonks that didn't do anything. So we'll see. 3 die was really good. Guarantees the down. Defends the ball. But you not getting the ball there is to be expected. You getting the ball down slowed them down. That's great. That's priority 1 is get the ball down. To delay them, figure out what to do after. So we're still going to have options. We're going to figure it out. So let's see. Let's take us a peek now. This is the situation we're dealing with. Chaos turn. How do we deal with the ball? Can we make it difficult? Can we make it hard? Well, for one, I'm probably more concerned with trying to prevent the score. Damn, this is a hard turn. Bopnut is annoying. We've got guard pieces. We can do some good stuff with those. We'll probably stand up. Save you to come mark over here. Let's say in theory you come stand here. And then I'm doing stuff with guard, right? Guard over here. Maybe have you come up mark here. You come here. Blitz. And either knock down, both down, something like that. If you get a both down, you're stuck on the bull center, that's fine. You've got guards, so this is not nearly as much of an issue. That could be the hit. If you get the knockdown, you probably follow. You go stand somewhere or something. I don't know. I think this is kind of where I would be. Kind of like marking things, taking this blitz, get my guard over here. This guard can even, like, come down here. This is a rough position. Yeah, indeed. Let's see what you actually did. Let's see what you actually did. Because you should take all your movements first. Good turn ordering. Blitzing, and... Yeah, I don't hate that either. Because blitzing gives you strength 4, right. Because horns. Horns is a good skill. Yep, take your 2 die down here. Don't follow. You knock down a dwarf, you don't have to follow at this point in the drive. Bring that up, that's fine. This is also a fine hit. I don't like that reroll. I think this stuff should have been stood up first. Should be marking here. Okay, good. I like that. I think my main disagreement is I would have rather hit the dwarf blocker here. But taking 1 down the bull center is fine too. You're trying to get on the sideline, trying to get rid of that option. It's okay. And Bob not coming in with a great cleanup. Then this goes back here to defend the sideline. Go for the pickup. Comes and stands like right here, yeah. You come here. And that's just such solid play from Bobnut. Like I don't think Outcast did bad. I think that Bobnut just found really good solutions. The solution was murder. Yeah, it's always the Russel piece on the Chaos team that dies. It's ye old, oh, I'll just mark it with Russel. That way they'll go on the ground. Yep. And then I like doing that. And this blocks the diagonal a little bit. That also blocks the diagonal. This is just a push off follow with 1 die at the moment. So this actually isn't super defended. Should have brought in the guard right here, I think. That's a good guess. Yeah, this was mostly fine. Main thing I would change, guard right here. But it's like no real good options no matter what. So now it's a 2-die, just need a push. Even without the blitz, you just bring the guard here and it's a 2-die. Okay, and that's just cleaning up some blocks. Let's go to the next setup. Let me see. What was it that Bobnut had asked about? How to defend the second half. Also, 2 turn tips. We'll see. We'll see. End up switching to the Chaos point of view for the next drive. All right, you have a good one, Kindred. Thanks for joining. It was fun. All right, Mighty Crab. You have a good night. I do too. They're pretty chill, pretty fun, and being the one not playing the game, it makes it a lot easier to get less like frustrated or emotionally involved, less ups and downs. Just kind of like game's already happened. We know the results. We can go through and figure out what we're doing. Learn for everyone. Absolutely, absolutely. Take our line of scrimmage hits. Defending against the Chaos here, you're really just like. Keep control of the center, as the Chorfs, for the most part. Try and hit the Claw Mighty Blow if it ever exposes himself. And definitely foul something. You want to foul them positionals. Especially like the Strength 5 piece, if you foul that, massive value. At the same time, just kind of get them into awkward position. Make Outcast roll some agility rolls. Power reroll is not terrible. When you have one killer, one super killer, it's not actually bad to use one of your rerolls for a power hit. I don't like this foul. That's already stunned. Not huge on that foul. If that wasn't stunned, that foul would have been fine. But even then, it was an 8+ foul, which I'm not a fan of. And it's a loner, unskilled. There are a lot of reasons I wouldn't have taken that foul. No, that wouldn't be a reason to not hit it. Because it is a positional, and like the Chorfs are the main body of the Chaos Dwarves, hence the name Chorf. It's just there were other better targets to foul, and it wasn't a very good foul. That was an 8+ foul without Dirty Player against a thick skull piece. It's just not very good. No, it's actually more... If you keep the loner alive, and it doesn't action and fails, it might eat a reroll and not actually reroll anything. So I would rather foul something without loner, is kind of my vibe. Yeah, loner Chorfs still beats out the Hobgoblins, because it's still got block tackle, that sort of thing. I like this hit. Now we need to shore up the defense around the ball. Very good hit. Bonk. Not much you can do against that as the Chorfs. You're going to have players go down against Claw Mighty Blow. I don't like this foul. I don't like this foul. Ball's not safe. That's good, though. That's good. Yeah, if that 1 and 6, that was a ball going up. Being behind the play is fine. It forces the Chaos to cage. Breaking wise, I'm looking at just hitting. Honestly, can we hit the killer? Is that what we're doing? Hell yeah. Let's go. Great target selection. Don't follow. Not bad. Not terrible. I don't hate this. This is now no longer behind, splitting up the enemy team. This is good, actually. It's kind of amazing. Don't follow, keep this... You see right here? Usually this is a decent follow. But right now, Bob now wanted to keep this segmented off. If you follow here, it's an easy blitz into opening up this space. It's A-okay by me. Follow, don't follow is fine here. Either way. And even though this is like, quote-unquote, wide open, this can still be hit. Yeah, the Bull Center is going to get hit by Claw Palm. Not Claw Palm, Claw Mighty Blow. Not much you can do to stop it, though. Like, this is the point in the game where things are going to be exposed. You just have to not base too much and give up too many extra hits. Because you had to go for the Claw Mighty Blow on when it's open. Because you usually don't get another chance. But at the same time, if the Claw Mighty Blow hits the Blodge Bull, then one, it doesn't have tackle. That's actually not terrible for you. And two, it means there's not much progress down the pitch. We need to defend right here. We need to block this from getting a hit into opening up the blitz. That works. That's fine. This should be pretty safe. Looking to hit this. Looking to get a breakthrough hit. And now we're going to try and prevent the score here. That's all we're doing. So I'm looking... Maybe there? Not really. I like this foul. 7+ with DP. Good blitz jet. Okay. No break tackle needed. And that's the blitz on the ball. Damn. Oh, if it was blitz, it would have been blitz on the ball. Okay, we've got the ball marked. This is not bad. This forces the Chaos to do something. Probably move, like, this piece. Go that way. Like, maybe forced to score, honestly. Or stay here and fight. I like this. Bull Centaur out. Honestly, not much you can do against all these armor rolls. It's kind of unfortunate. It's the reality of it at the moment. Are we dodging through? 2+. No. Okay, we're just taking punch. That's fine. There's like red dice on the ball, but not a concern. Might be able to get a 1 die, might be able to get a 2 die. We need a player to mark this stuff. So this might be 2 die on the ball. I don't like this foul. I don't like this foul right now. I think we need to wait. I think we have a hit on the ball. It's mark there, mark here. Or not even mark there. Just, yeah, 2 die on ball. I think taking the foul before 2 die on ball was a major no-no. And now we go bully the ball. Get around here. Take this dodge. Go for this 1 die. I like that. Don't even have to take the hit. Okay. Okay. That opens up the ball. Agi picks it up. At this point, it's a little bit Chorfs are at the Chaos mercy for this drive. I need them to fail something, most likely. It's a lucky pal. I think I'd like moving this here, pushing the Centaur down away from the end zone, rather than up here. I think this was a slightly wrong push direction. I think that's fine. This is, you just take the 2 die. You take this blitz. Blitz comes in. You do re-roll it. Nothing. That's unfortunate. I think that was the opportunity to stop it. Now it's going to be really hard to prevent it. We're going to see something like this gets knocked off, or even just 2 blitz away, followed by some GFIs into a score. Pick things up to base things. And I think I would be probably pretty tempted to score here. Okay, I don't hate that. Follow, dodging up to here. Not all the way up here. Right there is fine. 2 die here, good. This has been a pretty violent drive. Unfortunate. That was a 3+. Going for hit over here. Yeah, because you can get all the way, boom, boom, 2 die. That was a good find on blitz. I see what you're going for. I don't think there was anything bad about Bobnot's play. I think it was just the dice rolls were working just well enough. The decisions were just good enough. It's just a typical Blood Bowl game of Chaos versus Chorf. And just not enough to stop the score, I don't think. And then we'll talk about Chorf 1 turn, not 1 turn, 2 turns. Chorf 2 turns were pretty rough. Yeah, I think you made a bad push direction, but if you didn't make the bad push direction, I think it was a pretty solid score. I don't think you played like terribly or anything, is what I'm trying to express. Like, I think you were pretty solid. You made a couple bumps and errors here and there, but everybody does. So, real quick, I want to talk about 2-turning as Chorfs. 2-turning, generally similar concepts across all teams. Chorfs are pretty similar, in my opinion, to scoring on Chaos. They're just worse at it. General concept is get as many scoring threats, get them as unbaseable as possible, spread out. So, for my 2 turns, I like to have, if I can, 2 players back to deal with the ball. I like to have some Hobgoblins here and a Bull Centaur. But on Chorfs, you can probably only afford 1, right? So let's just say already. We get 1 player here to deal with the ball. Bull Centaur, 2 Hobs. And like Bull Centaur and a Hob. And Bull Centaur's a blue. That sort of thing. And then we get Chorfs to come deal with the line of scrimmage and then to do other things. But really what we're looking for is to... You want to blitz something down. You want to get a Bull Centaur in scoring range. And then like a Hobgoblin up here in scoring range. But you really just want everything spread out and unbaseable at the same time. So like, one thing's going to be blitzed. The rest has to be marked or screened. If you only have 2 players in scoring range, they're going to blitz 1 and mark the other heavily, right? So in this case, 2 scoring threats. This one gets blitzed, boom. And then we mark the other one with like 19 players and screen it off. And that's like your chance of scoring goes down out the window. Meanwhile, if you have 3 scoring threats, but 2 of them are next to each other, they're going to blitz the lone one and then mark these with 19 players. If you can get like 3 scoring threats like this, where you can't mark both players, this one's going to be blitzed. Boom, boom. These both are going to have to be marked, but they can't commit all the players to either one. So really, if you can get 3 scoring threats as Chorfs, like two Hobbs and... or like 2 Bulls, 2 Hobbs, it's really hard, but you just need to maximize your chances like that. Try to break through. I want to see what you actually... Okay, this is pretty standard. How people try to defend against, like, bashy 2 turns. Widespread to cover whatever you're trying to do. Okay, I like that. Take minimal hits. Follow. That's good. That's fine. Then... that's fine. Hey, Elliot, welcome back. Just finishing up our last game today. Yep. 1 scoring range. Get this one in scoring range split up. I wouldn't mark it. Oh, and this, you're blitzing better. That's fine, that's fine. Oh, yeah, it's the first time we've had, like, this many games. It's been a while since we've had so many games. Okay, I would not have followed that. I would not have followed that. I would have kept them here and had 3 scoring threats unbased. That's your ideal situation. 3 scoring threats unbased. Because now here, this gets hit. This gets hit. No, actually, you mark up the loner, then you hit these 2. 99 times out of 100. Yeah, all good, all good. Okay. Nice reroll, idiot. Yeah, this is about what you do. Like, this is the right direction of it all. Hit with you. Yeah. Push is fine. And you're able to, like, blitz through this way or something? I wouldn't even throw these blocks yet. Just as a turn ordering thing. Depends on if you care about removal SPP more than winning the game. This is why I wouldn't take those blocks yet. Right there. Chance of scoring, way down the drain. But as it is, it's just boom, 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 boom. That wasn't a terrible... honestly, that wasn't terrible. If you did that before taking the 2 dice with a reroll, probably would have been fine. But I think that was our last game for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we covered all 5, right? 2 Bop Knots, Idas, Mighty Crab, Orc versus Camry? Yeah. Alright, with that then, I am good for the day. It is time for me to hop off, make some dinner. Is there anyone we can raid? Not sure. Don't see any in Rebel. Don't see anyone there. Which time zone anyway? I'm East Coast of the U.S. Yeah, no problem. That was a fun game to look at. Gonna raid Rick Reckless, doing some Blood Bowl 2. Go watch some Rick. Make some. Oh, Trunk is playing Hades. Wait, never mind. Let's raid Trunk. Rick has plenty of years. We'll raid Trunk. Go watch some Hades. And I will meet you all over there. Alright. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all had fun. Learned some Blood Bowl. And y'all have a good one.